Hello my friends, and welcome to Home with Kelly P, and welcome to today's video. So in today's video I want to share with you a bathroom makeover that my husband and I recently completed in our master bathroom. Now over the years we've done a few little renos, few little DIY projects here and there, but nothing ever felt quite right. And last summer we started looking into doing a complete bathroom overhaul, a renovation, but the quotes we were getting were coming in $50,000 and more, and we just were not willing to spend that kind of money. We don't know how long we'll be in this house. It's just the two of us. We are empty nesters, so we're kind of thinking about downsizing in the very near future. So we didn't want to spend $50,000 plus on a bathroom renovation at this point in time. So my daughter last summer bought a new home, and I took inspiration from one of the bathrooms that they did in their home. It was beautiful. I loved the colors. So I got a little inspired by that, and we decided to give our cabinets a quick paint over again and maybe do up a couple of other few little things. We have this very large mirror in the room. It is massive, and we have tried to take it down before when we were painting walls and stuff, but it is glued on there solid. I believe it's a builder grade mirror. It's on there solid. We would have been ripping off drywall, and we didn't really want to get into that kind of project either. So we decided to try and frame it out, and I will be showing you that a little bit later. I love the way it turned out. To try and get a mirror that size too, I looked and looked and looked, because my husband did say, if you want a new mirror, we can do it. I can replace a drywall. But then I got looking around, I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for, and certainly not in a budget that I was comfortable with. So I'm going to take you through the steps that we did. We tried to do this on as tight a budget as we could, but we didn't want to skimp on anything either. And I think the paint that we chose for the cabinets this time around made a world of difference. It's made for cabinet and furniture paint. We didn't do that the last time when we painted the cabinets gray. So as you can see here in these clips, they're really getting old and dingy, and they just chipped like crazy. There was nothing we could do. You barely touched them and they chipped. As you can also see in these clips, we had, I did some little bit of glam knobs on them. Was not feeling them anymore whatsoever. And now the tiles that you see around the bathtub, they were always kind of our nemesis in there. I could never get the colors quite right. They're almost a pinky, peachy, beigey color. It was really awkward, so the gray did not go with it at all. I thought I could make it work. It's bothered me since we painted it, but I think now the color we chose, and it was a Valspar cabinet and furniture paint, and I believe it was Benjamin Moore's Revelstoke Gray. Beautiful color. Now when I say gray, you will see they do not look gray at all. They are these deep, beautiful green color with a hint of gray. Beautiful. Let's get into the step-by-step process that we did to redo this bathroom. So the first thing that my husband did was he took off the doors and all the hardware, and he took off the drawer fronts as well. We have 3 drawers on the side, so he took those off as well. They were not as easy to get off, but he did it this time, and it made a world of difference to painting. Now, once he took off all the doors, all the drawers, it was my turn to step in, and it was time to get honest with myself and start to clean and purge these cabinets and these drawers. I had it just stuffed with things. You know, I get influenced as well. People recommend a product, a hair product, something or other, and I have to try it. Well, a lot of this stuff that was in these cabinets was just sitting there unused. I tried them a few times, didn't like them, but just kept them as a just in case. But they were taking up a lot of valuable real estate, and everything was just crammed in there. The shelving unit that I had in there, I've had for years. Hate it because it's this plastic thing and things wouldn't sit on it properly. So I knew I wanted to replace those. I just wasn't sure what I was going to do to replace them. So after I took everything out and we emptied out the big IKEA cabinet that we had beside the bathtub, in between the bathtub and the shower, I emptied that out as well, and that was full of stuff that really needed to purge and get organized as well. There was makeup in there I no longer used, so I really needed to get in there. And then we moved the cabinet out completely because my husband wanted to paint that lying down, so we moved it out. But this was the perfect opportunity for me to get into this bathroom and really give it a good scrub down. Because that cabinet is against a wall, as much as I try to vacuum and clean as close to it as I can, it was filthy back there. So it was really, really fun to get in there and really give it a deep clean on the walls, on the baseboards, on the floor. And I found this really, really nice homemade recipe, cleaning recipe, and it was so easy and it smelled so wonderful. If I can remember the link of where I found it, I'll leave it in the description box below in case you want to check it out. But it was really, really easy to make. Basically, all it was I filled up my bucket with some hot water. I added in a few squirts of my Dawn dish soap, and then the thing that really made the difference was I added in some peppermint oil, some essential oil into the mixture, and it just smelled so good. So I highly recommend trying it. When I'm going to start using that more often around my home to clean baseboards and walls and my cabinets and stuff. It just smelled so lovely. So with everything out of the room, I was able to get up and clean the lights as well. I thought I used to keep them nice and clean, and I got up there and I couldn't believe how filthy they were. I think because it's right next to the shower and there's so much moisture in the room that the dust almost becomes like stuck onto these lights. I thought I was dusting them enough, but oh, yuck. I took them right down, like took off all these shades and everything, brought them down to the kitchen sink and really gave them a nice wash, and boy, did that make a difference. Then I went over to the window and I cleaned up those blinds as well. These are old plastic blinds. Not the greatest thing in there, but my husband did surprise me a few days later, and he bought new blinds for this. They're the faux wood ones, the big slats. They're about a 2-inch slat, and it's just one to fit the window, whereas before it was the 2 little ones. Oh my word, they made such a difference. I was so happy with that. I think that might have been one of my favorite things in there. But yeah, so it was so nice to get new blinds up and to just get the bathroom feeling really, really deep cleaned and refreshed. So once the cleaning and the purging was done, I needed to organize the underneath of the cabinet, and I knew I was not going to be putting that old shelving unit back in there. I hated it, didn't like it. I did not want it back in. So I was scouring on Amazon, and I've seen a lot of TikToks, a lot of Instagram posts, oh, get these organizers, get this, get that. And some of them I would look at and they were very, very expensive. But I did end up finding these acrylic pull-out drawers on my Amazon, and I'll leave a link to them in the description box below in case you are interested in them. They weren't that expensive. They were just under $50, I think, but I got 3 little pull-out units, 3 units in there, and they're stackable. So even though you get 3, what they consider 3 units, if you want to make one a 3-tiered one, you can, and then have one level. There's all kinds of configurations you can do for them, and they were so easy to put together. Like, it was ridiculous how easy they were. But I have to say, they are fantastic, really fantastic, and they fit perfectly in my cabinet. So I was so thrilled with that. And my husband was skeptical at the beginning. He looked at them, he said, these are not gonna work, and he loves them now. I also bought a Lazy Susan from the dollar store. It was like $3. Our dollar store is like $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 things. And I think it was around $3, maybe $4 for this Lazy Susan, this acrylic one. And I put some of his stuff in there. He loves it. He can find everything. And everything is so nicely organized now. We are so happy with these little acrylic drawers. Now it was time to start putting the room back together. And this process took over a couple of weeks, I think. We worked on it for a couple of weeks. I do work full time, so it was hard to get to it. I tried to do some stuff in the evening or, mostly on the weekends. So it did take a couple of weeks. You had to wait for things to come in from Amazon and, let the paint dry and do a number of coats on it. So it was over a couple of weeks. Now the handles I picked up were from Lowe's, I believe. Love them. I love this kind of antique gold looking handle. They're not like a real gold, but they're not a real brass. I just love them. I think they work so well on the green. Absolutely love them. So we replaced all those. And then the towels that I was using, just more over by the bathtub and by the side of the sink. And I do this quite often, especially in my my guest bathroom down here. I just use tea towels. They are so absorbent, and you can get them in so many colors, so many styles, so many designs. They really are quite pretty. I thought, oh, I gotta go out and get some new towels, and I wasn't, wanting to do that too much. I didn't want to spend too much money. And when I was putting some other stuff away, I found these tea towels. Now, if you've watched some of my other videos, I did use these. I believe it was in the winter and into the spring in my kitchen because they were green and I loved them. And they looked so beautiful in my kitchen. So I'd put them away for the summer and for the fall, and lo and behold, they are the perfect towel for this room to match the green cabinetry. They work off the tile. They just look beautiful. I love them, and I didn't have to spend a cent on them. Now, after getting everything put back together, getting the doors on, getting the drawers in, I got to put everything back together underneath the sink and in the big cabinet. And I love the way everything came together. It's so organized. We can find things like that. Like, we can find things so quickly. So when I'm doing my hair, all my stuff is there. I know exactly what I want to use. I can find it. We thought we were out of soap. We had a ton of soap that I found underneath the cabinet, and I got to put it away. The IKEA cabinet, all my makeup is organized. I purged it. I love it. And I'm really proud of myself because I've kept it up since we finished this project back in mid-September. And here we are a month later, and it still looks the same as the day I put it together. So I'm so proud of myself for that. So the one last thing we wanted to do in this room, and as I mentioned at the beginning, it was the mirror. We wanted to replace it. Did we want to replace it? Were we going to do that? What were we going to do with this mirror? At one point, we thought, okay, we'll just leave it. But I always wanted the mirror framed out. It's a beautiful mirror. As I've said, it was beautiful. It's big, it's huge. It would cost a fortune to replace it. But I thought it could just be a little bit more. Now, the other thing my husband pointed out, and smart guy, I've never really noticed it, but the edge of the mirror that's next to the edge of our counter near our shower, the edge of that mirror does not line up with our countertop anymore because we did replace that countertop a few years ago. So it was always off, and it's always bothered him because it looks like the mirror is not centered on the wall. So we decided to frame out the mirror. And his suggestion was to use some strips on that one side so that when we put that piece of frame on the mirror, we put most of it on these strips next to the wall so that it would line up the edge of the frame with the edge of the countertop, if that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining it right, but I hope you can see in these clips too that that's what we did. We tried to do. We went to Home Depot, checked out all the trim and everything, and we found this 1 3/8 inch piece of poplar trim, and we loved it because it had the back of it was flat. So we just were able to adhere this right to the mirror with just some Gorilla Glue, I think is what my husband used. We didn't even worry about etching out the little clips. That we kind of cheated. So instead of etching out where the little clips were, etching out something on the back of this piece of poplar, because it's our bathroom and you don't really notice it when you're in there, we just lined up the bottom and the top of the frame with those clips, and you can't even notice them. So that worked out really, really well. We didn't have to do anything extra, anything special. My husband just mitered the corners to get this to look like a picture frame on the mirror. So we also wanted to stain the frame, and I kind of had a color in mind, and one of my favorite stains is the Varathane in Early American, and so we went and got that. I am loving the subtle shade that this gives this frame on this mirror. It really complements the green, the tiles, the new hardware, the new handles. It just looks so nice, and it doesn't jump out at you because this is a big mirror and we didn't want that to happen either. Now in these next few clips, you're probably going to laugh at us. We were trying to put this frame this mirror and trying to put it up on the mirror. And one of the things that this Gorilla Glue says is you've got to hold it in place for 10 minutes. And we were like, we're not standing here for 10 minutes per piece of wood to hold it. So we got some weights. After we lined up the bottom of the frame, we got some weights from downstairs in our workout area, and we just plunked those against the bottom piece. We did that one first because we figured once that was set in place, everything else would kind of come together. In hindsight, we wished we had put the frame together, glued it all together, and mounted it as one piece. That was our one learning. We wish we had done that instead of putting it one piece at a time. But yes, so we just used our heavy weights against it. Now the piece that was on the side with the other little wood pieces would not hold very well at times. So we did have to put a heavier weight on the bottom and tape it up at the top to get it to stay, and that worked fine. And once we got the top piece on with it, it held it together. So it worked out fine in the end. But in hindsight, we probably should have laid it out, glued it all together, stapled it together, and then put it up on the mirror. But it still worked out fine, and it's still holding. I'm happy to say the frame is still there, and it looks great. If you follow over on my community channel, and if you follow me over on Instagram, and I hope that you do, come over there, say hi. Sometimes I share more than just home decor related content over there. But I did share on my community tab a while back, kind of a poll. I had this beautiful vase and I said, I'm thinking about painting it. Should I paint it? Should I leave it? And it was almost split down the middle, 50-50, because I was even on the fence. And my daughter saw the poll and she texted me right away. She goes, Mom, do not paint that vase. I'm looking every day for something like that. Do not paint that. So in the end, I did not paint it. And am I glad I didn't? Because now it looks gorgeous in this room. I got some faux eucalyptus from a store near us. And then I went over to Michael's and I got a few, this beautiful looks like dried hydrangea in this beautiful rusty kind of mauvey kind of color. It just looks gorgeous against the tile with the green and everything, and I'm so happy I didn't paint this vase now. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think? It was good. I'm glad I didn't paint it because now this vase just looks so beautiful on the corner of my tub. In that corner, it fills it out. It looks great. Oh, my bathroom mats. Treat yourself to nice bath mats. I've never really thought much about it, and we couldn't find I didn't know what to put there, but these bath mats that I found at HomeSense, I thought they were a little darker than what I wanted. Again, when I got them home and put them down, I went, wow, this is exactly what I wanted. So, when you're looking at things in stores, bring it home. You can always return it. That's what I did. I brought it home. I didn't undo them, and I just laid them on the floor, but I knew instantly they were exactly what we wanted, and they're so luxurious. Oh my word, they are so luxurious on our feet. We love them. And yeah, treat yourself to some nice bath mats. I have never done that before, and wow, we love them. So I want to thank you so much for spending some time with me today as I took you through our quick bathroom DIY makeover. We are loving it. It finally feels like what it was supposed to look like for us. Did we get a new shower? No. Did we get rid of that bathtub? No. But at least it feels refreshed, and we love the colors. Everything works for us, and yeah, we're just loving it. So I hope this gave you some inspiration. If you were thinking of tackling some little project in your home, just go for it. It really, for us, it was a can of paint that started it all. It was just a can of paint. And then, yes, that led to new hardware and the frame, but really it wasn't a lot, and it was just paint, and we love it. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this gave you some inspiration. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you join me each week. Don't forget to have your bell notification on so you get notified every time I upload a new video. I'm trying to keep to a schedule of once a week, usually on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. So let me know in the comments below if that's working for you. Would you prefer an upload on a different day, or say it's just fine? But yeah, be sure to follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. And until I talk to you in my next video, guys, I hope you have a great week.